Welcome to Christie Russ's Blockchain for Beginners series. I am Christie's AI-generated avatar, and I will be your host. This series is a beginner-friendly breakdown. I will do my best to avoid any and all tech jargon. Let's get started with the next in the series. The evolution of the Internet, Web 1, Web 2, and Web 3. Think back to the first time you used the Internet. Maybe it was dialing up on a bulky desktop, waiting for pages to load at a painfully slow speed. Or maybe you remember the first time you could interact with others online, post updates, or even shop from your phone. The internet has evolved drastically over the past few decades, and we're now on the brink of another transformation, one that will change how we interact with the digital world forever. The internet has gone through three major phases, known as Web 1, Web 2, and Web 3. Each phase has changed not only how we use technology, but also who controls it. Understanding this shift helps put blockchain into perspective and shows why Web3 is being called the future of the internet. Web 1, the read-only internet, the early days of the internet from the late 1980s to the early 2000s were what we now call Web 1.0. This was the read-only era, where the internet was basically a giant digital library. Websites were static, meaning they didn't change or allow user interaction. There were no social media platforms, no user-generated content, just basic pages with text and images. Companies and organizations controlled most of the content, and users could only consume information but not contribute to it. Web 1.0 was useful for looking up information, but it lacked the engagement and interactivity we expect today. Web 2.0, the social interactive internet. In the early 2000s, the internet transformed into Web 2.0, the version we still use today. This was the birth of social media, user-generated content, and the ability to interact with websites rather than just reading them. Platforms like Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter changed everything by allowing people to create and share content. E-commerce exploded, making it easier than ever to shop and conduct business online. Apps and cloud-based services allowed real-time collaboration, streaming, and instant communication. Web 2.0 gave people more freedom to engage, but it also centralized power in the hands of a few large companies. Tech giants like Google, Amazon, and Meta, formerly Facebook, built platforms where billions of people interact daily. But those same companies now control our data, privacy, and even what content we see. Web 3.0, the decentralized internet, the internet of finance. We are now entering the era of Web 3.0, often referred to as the Internet of Finance, because it is transforming the way financial transactions, contracts, and ownership are managed online. Web 3 is built on blockchain technology and is designed to solve the problems of Web 2.0, offering a more decentralized and user-controlled experience, which is built on blockchain technology and designed to solve the problems of Web 2.0. Instead of a few companies owning everything, Web 3 shifts power back to the users. Decentralization. No single company or government controls the network. User ownership. Instead of platforms owning your data, you own it. You decide what to share and how it's used. Smart contracts. Transactions and agreements happen automatically through blockchain-based programs, eliminating middlemen. Digital economies. People can earn directly from their content and contributions without relying on advertisers or third-party platforms. In Web 3, instead of logging into a website using an account controlled by a company, like Facebook or Google, you would use a blockchain-based identity that belongs to you alone. Your data would not be stored on a company's server. It would be encrypted, secure, and completely under your control. Why this shift matters. Web3 is not just an upgrade to the internet. It represents a fundamental shift in how we interact with digital systems. Unlike Web 2.0, where users rely on corporations to host and process their data, Web3 enables direct peer-to-peer interactions without centralized control. This means greater security, privacy, and financial autonomy for individuals. One of the biggest innovations of Web3 is its impact on finance and digital ownership. Blockchain technology enables secure, transparent transactions without banks or third party intermediaries. Cryptocurrencies, decentralized finance, DeFi, and tokenized assets are already proving how Web3 can reshape economies. Decentralized finance, DeFi. Traditional banking services like loans, savings, and trading can now be done directly on the blockchain, giving individuals full control over their money without relying on banks. Tokenization of assets. Real world assets, such as real estate, stocks, and even art, can be represented as digital tokens on the blockchain, allowing fractional ownership and global accessibility. Smart contracts. These self executing agreements eliminate the need for lawyers and middlemen, reducing costs and increasing efficiency across industries. The challenges of Web3 adoption. Just like the transition from Web 1 to Web 2, Web 3 adoption will take time. There are still challenges to overcome, such as usability. Many blockchain applications are still too complex for everyday users, requiring new interfaces that simplify interactions. Scalability. Blockchain networks need to process transactions faster to support mainstream use. Regulation. Governments are still figuring out how to regulate Web3 technologies, which will impact their adoption globally. Interoperability. Different blockchain networks need to seamlessly communicate with one another to ensure a smooth user experience, much like how the internet connects various websites and platforms today. Despite these hurdles, the momentum behind Web3 is growing. Major financial institutions, tech companies, and even governments are beginning to explore and integrate Web3 innovations. The move from Web 1 to Web 2 gave us more freedom to interact, but at the cost of handing over control to big corporations. Web 3 aims to give that control back to individuals by using blockchain to create an internet that is open, transparent, and resistant to censorship. This shift won't happen overnight. Just like the transition from Web 1 to Web 2, it will take time for people to fully adopt and understand the benefits of Web 3. But make no mistake, this is the future of the internet. This is just the beginning. In the next post, we'll explore how blockchain plays a key role in building Web3 and why it will become as invisible yet essential as the technology behind today's internet. I hope you enjoyed this episode for the Blockchain for Beginners series. Please like, share, and subscribe on LinkedIn, Substack, and YouTube for the rest of the written and video series. All of the links are provided in the details or post for this video. For more information, please visit christieruss.com.